just put this in. We're back. I'll put this in here. And these are sort of shapes that are within the egg. Mix on the surface a little bit. These other two are browner. I'm going to make a brush mix. That. This is just shapes that are on the inside. Hopefully will deliver an egg when it's done. This is where the paint's getting thicker, laying on the surface a bit more. These slightly darker yellower colours. Like grey even. A bit greener. Red as well. He doesn't that. And then there's this shapes under here. Feels pretty. Starting point. Doing under. Sort of mixes. Yeah. Almost a little bit peachy in places. Underneath of here seems pinkiness showing through. Around here. It's changing colour intensity. Slightly more orange. Comes up around. Gets darker. Mixing on the surface now. Fuel that a little bit. Break up here. Soften the edges a little bit. And I can go in with a slightly darker colour. I'll use the other brush. Blue, and I'll put some orange. Okay. Yeah. More crimson. Where else is there a crimson shadow? One under there. Okay. Yeah, not so much, but there, mate. Go back to my bluer colour as well. Bit of outline, but that's okay. That. Yeah.
Is there an element with something so recognizable as an egg that it actually is then becoming more difficult to paint because everybody knows what the egg is?
Oh yes, yes, yeah. So a slightly wonky egg, like I said earlier, if you see a square which is a bit wonky, or a circle which is a bit wonky, your eye knows before you know why. In fact, deducing why, as something every artist will tell you, is something's a bit off, and you have to figure out why. And it's really elusive sometimes. You know, why does that eye look wrong? Well, I've measured it, and the measurement says it's right. So now I should, you know, from a scientific point of view, be able to go, no, that's fine, but it isn't. So something's gone wrong somewhere. What is it? And it's very hard to tell sometimes. Now I've got this sort of yellowish grey here. Too much. It's got to mix with the previous colour, but also represent that shift. I quite like that. Come in here. Very cute. All like this. Okay. A bit more light coming from. Okay. Now this peachy colour over here, I identified earlier as being nice kind of source of what looks like a reflected light. Now it's not doing as much, but can help me. I need to find my way. And so there's a very soft glow to lights here. Blur out from the centre. The eggs are approaching. They're close. I still need the reference of that background colour, the colour of the tea towel, to really finish it. But if I get this peachy colour, let's brighten it up a little bit. What happened? Not too much. Be part of the way there, but not all the way there. Right here. That's not enough. It's really subtle now. A slight change to that peachy colour. Okay. That's where it should be brighter. Here. Here. Really subtle there. Spread out a little bit as well. Mixing just a little bit brighter. There we go. Yeah. Definitely an eggness to those. Okay, the last thing I can do, sort of finish off the arena of eggs, I will finish off with the mug and that background up there. This is my yellow of the background. This is the kind of the beginnings of my detail colour. I'm going to take some of that, a little bit of that yellow from the background, only a little bit of that warmth from the mug, lump of titanium white. I'm going to mix them together to make my light tea towel colour. One I can still add highlights to afterwards. Now this should make a difference. Load that up. Let's start with the brightest bits. So there. I even go further than that. Now, is this bright enough? That's the question. I think it is there. Where it makes other shapes. Where else is it really bright? Around here. That. Space in between here. Starts to mix on the surface.
The same thing as what you were doing last week, wasn't it? Where it's not painting an actual line, it's around it like a an outline.
Yeah, well,
multiple lines.
Not even an outline really, but yeah, no, yes. The thing is, there's certain places where the light really seems to be doing the job, you know, creating edges. And if I can get some of the tea towelness to come across, so around there, effectively just kind of build a tea towel. And this is where the thick paint gets to have its day. I'm not going to get too carried away here because I might want to change something once I sort of finish off the mug. Certainly into there. Here. And bits of this can still get brighter. As this sort of works in, it can also mix on the surface. It will give me some variegation of tonal values as your eye travels around. It creates these creases, if you like, of the tea towel. So this sort of fairly strong edge of the tea towel. But I'm not going to overdo that because I probably want to add some. But straight away, that's already looking more like it. Won't do too much there because I do want to put stripes in. Sort of a bit more. Yeah. One of those stripes. Crinkly edge of it. lodges in. Same thing here. Hard edges. Nice. Not happy with that bit there. Out a little bit, just so that it's not too different to the egg language. Here, to give some of those shadows. Or like a crease in the detail, some sudden change of colour. What else? Okay, let's start with this yellow over here. Too yellow. Some white in that. So I am updating these colours. I mixed them all and now I'm changing them slightly, because once they're on, there's enough of a context for me to be able to tell if they're actually accurate or just close. Yeah, that's more what I want. I'm making more of the yellow here as well. Block it there. Some confirmation that that is the edge I want for the mug there. So yeah, if you've made it to YouTube, even if you're on Facebook, if you make a comment or something, it does show up. But do join in the conversation. I was quite impressed by how much people joined in with trying to help me title a a painting I shared the other day. Well, for last week's painting, in fact, which was the could be stationery. And then I thought, is it stationery or is a stapler stationery or is it office supplies? Does stationery have to be like paper and stuff? And then I got really confused. And then I thought, oh, I could have this conversation online with people. And I thought, probably shouldn't do that. Because, I don't know, maybe it's fun to waste our time. I'm sure no one would appreciate getting dragged into that.
So what did the painting end up getting called?
Well, that's the thing. It's still in the balance. So stationery, still stationery because it's still life. A few. I'm thinking it needs something more cryptic. The more I think about it, the more that seems to be what's required. Getting a little bit lighter and a little bluer. Because there's already this yellow on the surface. I might go further with this than I thought.
Along the lines of like office staples.
Yes. So yeah, there's all sorts of sort of potential half puns, but none of them are quite the poetry that it's requiring. That was okay before. Do.
Command set.
Something sort of happening. This keeps leaning up. Quite interesting that it does that. Actually, I know how to fix it. Just push the other side the other way. Another interesting thing is this colour here, pretty much identical down into the spoon. Hard, dark edge of the spoon, which is work. Fill this side a little bit, but okay. Bit of grey in here. Established that was too dark. Is that 2:45?
No, that's 8. 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock. What am I talking about?
There you are. I suppose I did take that time to move the entire composition. But, right, get lighter. There you are. Oh, there you go. 5 minutes over. So, yes. Close to that. I like that bit of blue. Got some bits of blue in here. Oh, tiny bit in there. And this. Probably do that. Go back across to that greeny colour. Right on the get even brighter and even yellower. Not too much. Still should look a bit green, but again. Blur my vision. Really look at it. That's not a million miles off. Okay. This red and some black. I'm not going to go all the way down to a tiny brush. We'll have a little bit of detail. I like a bit of detail. If you do it right, get away with it. The highlights go on here, which they will forthwith. Really help make it. Okay, previously unused brush. Let's have some really bright golden highlights. Or a bit of that orange because I don't want it to be too yellow. I don't think I'll use any oil. Maybe I should have done. Be thicker than that. Quite a lot more paint. Drag out. Pen's gone all wobbly. Don't generally use a mole stick or anything. Got to land it. One was better. Colour on this colour on this brush. Still not bright enough. Further we can go with that. Let's go all the way back to these blacks. Grey. Proper description of a I haven't quite finished the mug. Or yeah. Bit of a background colour in. It will sympathise with eggs. Egg sympathy going on. Shadow. Nice. Now I've got those highlight colours on the brush. And extra bits of light along detail. Places where it gets brightest. Here. Yeah. Bit around there. Where else? Bit along here. Along here. It's a bit of outline. I have. It's funny how much brighter the reds don't need to go. It's much more for them to do. Right round there. Yeah, I'm over fiddling with that. Do you still want to do a few things? I'll go for this pure red. So where can that go? It can go around. Darker than you'd think. I'm trying to find the spots where we're at maximum red. Bottom. Where else? There. Yeah. Go to a lighter version. Times of this. That look right? Isn't sure it does. highlights. Yeah, I'm running out of time to do this properly now, so I suppose there could be one of those instances where either I should spend a bit longer on it, making it right. Flash a little here. Oh yeah, red stripes, light red stripes. Great. Yeah, that's working. Doing the light bits. A few bits of those. And the rest of it's much darker. So there. Definitely over fiddling now, aren't I? Right. Yeah, some of these eggs still look a bit odd. I'm not worrying too much about fiddling here because I'm not dramatically changing the approach. How this was done. Is that it? Part of me wants to sort of smooth out everything that happened with the tea towel, but at the same time, I'm going to brighten this up. Yeah, the edges are showing up. See where the edges of the egg are. That black, this blue bit. That do anything new? No. Therefore, yeah, therefore it's done. Got to that stage. If I do any more, I'll wreck it. Feel free to come and have a look at this in Bean Shop, where it will go probably at some point tomorrow. This is Alex's mug, which he lent me. Not quite right. Yeah, spoon's actually okay. Sort of all right with the spoon. I mean, I feel like I could do more, but there's just enough of a suggestion there to. The shadow helps the spoon be more real. I mean, I'm still not painting as well as I'd like, so I'm always going to be a bit fussy about these things and think about what could have been better. It's not Not quite done. You know what? Go back into here. But yeah, those lights really are doing a lot to describe things like you're not looking at that. A bit. Okay. I can hear people shouting through the screen. So I'm going to stop there. And I think I will sign this in red. Go. 1:15. Could have been worse. Hey.
That's good.
Okay. Well, there's the subject matter from where I was. The image. Up close. Eggs. There's a quite a blurry egg there. Bug. Boom. Yeah. Done worse paintings. I've done better. But I've enjoyed getting stuck into sort of getting into the nature of the eggs and those forms. You know, there isn't one egg shape, or slightly elongated ones and slightly rounder ones, and this, that, and the other. But there's always a balance within those forms. And yeah, I'm going to dig into that a bit more, see what I can come up with. But yeah, so thanks for joining us. Thank you, Graham.
That's all
and,
good.
Are we back on the normal screen? There we go, down in the corner. I don't know what you can see. Can you see the cat adopting your bag?
Not quite.
We didn't do a cat cam today.
No, we didn't. Oh, I've only got the top of them. Bless him.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So, any suggestions of things to do with eggs? Any terrible suggestions, titles? All welcome.